Hi, Mr. Saiki. This is Ben with Amtex Equipment from the United States. Next to me, it is your second order that you placed with our company about a couple of months ago. First of all, I want to thank you for your repeat business, and I'm looking forward to serve your company in Japan for years and years to come. As far as the inventory of the product that we built for you, we're going to start off from the left side of me, which is the propane holding carts that we built for you, customized. And if you notice, you do have a locking bracket on the top. This design was done exactly to the measurement that you submitted to our drawing board. You'll be able to simply set the proper propane bottle that you have in mind in place and simply lock it. Now, going to the second part of the project, which was 3 freshwater tank, about 60 gallon. We decided to go with a 65 gallon because they do have a automatic shutdown as far as filling. So by the time they get full, you're gonna actually really have about 60 gallon of water for operation. But they are equipped in the back with an expansion tank and also a 12 DC pump with a wiring that with identical plugs that will match either machines. Now, as a quick show as far as the freshwater tank, the back wheels are caster, the fronts are solid. You'll be able to do a 360-degree position of the tank, whichever position that you like. Here is your dump valve that you'll be able to simply do occasional rinsing. But if you follow the clear hose going around, it will go into the 12 DC pump in the back. From here, the water goes up into the expansion tank. From the expansion tank, it's going to come out into a garden hose connect that you can connect to the front of either of those Prowlers. Now, the other tanks are your recovery tank. They're kind of made identical to the other one. Maybe in the future you want to change them into a freshwater tank. That's why we went ahead and designed your same platform in case if you want to install another, use one of these as a freshwater tank. Also, you'll be able to simply remove the system and go ahead and put the expansion tank on it. You're ready to go. Now, if we follow this one, you notice the orange hose coming to the front of the machine that we set up for testing. It is connected to the machine with a union. That gives you a very easy connection in and out, rather than having a hose barb that might start leaking or what have you. So that way you have a seal section right there for it to be able to pump the water into the tank. Again, these are all, the back wheels are caster and the front ones are solid. You'll be able to position them any position you like. Now, as the water enters, as I turn it around, allow the cameraman to be able to take a shot. The water enters into the tank. Of course, you do have exhaust piping here because remember, we're using the blower system to do the suction and pump out. So by having a vent here, you're allowing the air to escape. Now you're going to have that impressive suction that the Prowler is known for. Now, as far as the machine itself, we're going to go to the other one because this one is set up, ready to go, but we're going to kind of give you a tour around the machine. Starting from the front, this is where you're going to connect your pressure line of the propane tank, which we're going to provide you with a proper fitting. Now, what happened is this is it's called the fuel solenoid. As you turn the ignition on, you can hear the sound of a clicking. That means this is a normally closed solenoid. As you turn the switch on, it allows the flow of liquid propane to go into the evaporator, which by the order from the Kohler, they're set up right there where the exhaust of the engine comes out with a fan blowing on it. This system right here is called evaporator, which makes the liquid propane into vapors. Now from there, the vapors travels into the regulator, which regulator, what it does is simply supplies the engine with proper amount of propane on demand. In other words, if you run the machine slow, it allows certain amount of propane to go into the engine. If you speed up the engine, of course, it's going to allow more propane supply. Now, but another work of this device is to maintain the pressure low, because those tanks of propane are under severe pressure, and you don't want that to be blown into the engine and cause problem. Now, because of the width of the machine, because you ask us for the machine to be 36 inch in width and less, we end up putting the filtration box in the back handle. That's where all this instrument was. So if you loosen this, you'll be able to get the filter out, rinse it after every job, and put it back in. You should get a smooth ride right there. Now everything that was up here as far as the control, they're going to be to the left side because of the shortage of space. You do have your toggle switch right here. As you turn it on, it will power the 12 DC pump on your freshwater tank to start pumping water into the system. Right below it is your temperature gauge. Your tachometer is right there. Your battery is very accessible, and of course your pressure gauge facing to the right, so you'll be able to have a same, you'll be able to read all the gauges from one side. Now, as far as the overall operation of this machine, it is identical to the 13 HP, except it's powered by a 20 horsepower Kohler with a LP setup. So as far as the operation of it, I'm going to go ahead and show his power in a little bit, but I'm not going to go into detail because we have already shown that to you in prior videos of the 13 HP that we shipped to Japan. Now going to the setup, how do we set up one? If you remember, like I said, each freshwater tank comes in with a plug. Now all the plugs on the freshwater tanks are female, and we do have provided you wiring here in order to power the pump on your freshwater tank. All you gotta do is just simply plug it in and you're ready to go. Now, once you plug in the wiring, you're gonna go ahead and hook up all your hoses. If you notice, you got your blue hoses, pressure and vacuum. We're gonna follow them all the way to our office because in a little bit we're gonna show you the power of it. Now coming back to the machine, all the systems the same. Your regulator is to the right, and your unit bypass, which is cool off right there. Your pressure, your garden hose inlet is right there, and your vacuum right there accessible. Pretty much everything else as far as the system is, like I said, identical. Past the engine is identical to the 13 HP that we put out. Now, to start it, let's do it. First thing you do, once you turn the key on, you have power. We have power for the freshwater tank. We do have power for our toggle switch for us to be able to turn the freshwater pump on. Right now, the reason you don't hear it running because the expansion tank in the back is already pressurized, because prior to this video we did run the system to just test it. What we're going to do right now, simple. We're going to go ahead and start it, kind of let it run. We're going to go to the one, do some cleaning, and we come back and do the shut-off procedures. Now, as far as turning the system on, you do have both of your handles, choke and the throttle all the way to the right. From the rest position, you move the throttle a little bit to the left. Move the choke all the way to the left. As you're cranking, open the choke. Now you always allow the system to kind of run a few seconds to kind of loosen up, and then from there you'll be able to raise the RPM and get it to start, heating up the water that we can do the cleaning. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just go ahead and grab me a lubrication, LED 40. I'm going to have one of my guys bring it to me, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and increase the RPM. If we go to the tank, you're going to feel the air that's coming out. This is the air that's coming out of the blower. Never block this. And once you block it, you build pressure inside of the tank. We don't want that. We want it to freely breathe. And go ahead and raise a little bit more. Go to our one. Just like the other design, again, you do have a bypass here. Function of this is simply get the hot water to you quick. And if you're ever going to put the one down for a long period of time, it's always good to kind of slightly open it. What I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to go ahead and open it slightly and start feeling for heat, and from there I'm going to do a couple of circle cleaning. We'll go from there. Yeah, I got my hot water almost in. There we go. Here we go. vacuum. Go for the next one. Okay, let's say we're done. We're about to go and shut down the system. One of the safest positions for the one is upside down. That way, if you accidentally step on it, you won't break anything. Make sure this is in the off position as it is right now. Not on, because you're about to go and shut down the system, so there's no need for you to start bypassing. We're gonna go to the machine. Number two, we're going to allow it to run without the filter. Remember for the other one? Now you put the filter away. You allow the machine to run for about a few seconds or maybe a minute or two to kind of cool off. One of the things you can do to cool off the machine, we haven't run it that long, but it would be good to open up this valve and start evacuating all the hot water. And give me a back with the lubrication. It's always good to kind of run a little bit faster. That way you're allowing the blower to dry out faster. So I'm just gonna speed up the machine. But remember what we used to do? We used to block the flow. And once the blocking the air is done, you have your can or lubrication can. I normally use the 10 WD-40 in a vertical position without any straw, anything. Just simply spray it in there for about 5 seconds, which is 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. That's it. Now we're gonna go to the front of the machine. Okay, our blower is already lubricated. The machine is cooled down. It's time to shut it up. Go ahead and shut the main ignition. We'll put everything all the way to the right. Make sure your front valve is closed. Make sure your toggle switch is off. If you want to wrap up the system, make sure you turn the propane all the way off for safety. We come to the tank. Well, the last thing you want to do, simply go ahead and unplug it from here, the wiring, wrap it. That way you'll be able to now reposition the machine without any accidental pulling on that cable and breaking it. Okay, that was just a quick orientation and introductory section of this video was just to teach you and show you how to operate your new 20 horsepower Prowlers powered by Kohler LP engines. Again, like I said, I want to thank you for your patience with us. These were custom-made type of machine. And we know it took about a couple of extra weeks for us to be able to deliver them, but however, they have to go through quite a bit of testing before we can ship them. But by the time we probably post this video, your machine and your shipment is already in transition. Again, like I said, I want to thank you on behalf of everybody in MTEX Equipment. We're looking forward to serve you for many, many years to come. Thank you, sir.